Have you ever heard that sometimes the best things in life happen when you least expect them? Well, let me tell you a story about an old man who found that out in the most surprising way possible. In a quiet village tucked away by the mountains, there lived a kind, cheerful old man who sold the most delicious rice cakes. Everyone in the village adored him. He had just one thing that made him stand out: a large, unsightly lump called a wen that hung from his cheek. But he never let it bother him. He was perfectly happy with his simple life. One evening, a storm rolled in while he was heading home, forcing him to take shelter inside the hollow of a giant ancient tree. As the clock struck midnight, he was startled by a peculiar sound. It was music and wild, booming laughter. Cautiously, he peeked out and saw something unbelievable. A group of oni, those fearsome ogres from Japanese folklore, were having a massive party right in the forest clearing. They were feasting, drinking, and dancing under the moonlight. At first, the old man was terrified, frozen in his hiding spot. But the music was infectious. The rhythm was so joyful, so full of life, that his feet started tapping on their own. Forgetting his fear, he thought, "What a party! I have to join in." He leaped out from the tree and began to dance. He wasn't a professional dancer, but he moved with such pure, uninhibited joy and enthusiasm that the rowdy oni stopped to watch, completely captivated. He spun, he jumped, he laughed, and he danced his heart out. The chief of the oni, a huge ogre with a booming voice, was incredibly impressed. "Old man, your dance is magnificent!" he roared with delight. "You have brought us great joy. You must return tomorrow night and dance for us again." The old man agreed, but the chief wasn't finished. "To make sure you keep your promise, we need a guarantee, a security deposit." The chief's eyes landed on the lump on the old man's cheek. "Ah, we'll take this wen as your pledge." And just like that, with a magical shimmer, the chief oni reached out and, poof, snatched the wen right off the old man's face. It didn't hurt a bit. The ogres, delighted, showered him with gifts and sent him on his way. The old man ran home, his heart soaring. He touched his cheek. It was completely smooth. Not only was he safe, but he was also richer and free of the lump that had been with him his whole life. He couldn't believe his incredible luck. Word of this miracle spread through the village like wildfire and soon reached his next-door neighbor. Now, this neighbor was the complete opposite of our rice cake seller. He was grumpy, sour, and consumed by greed. He also happened to have a large wen on his cheek, which he despised. When he heard about the first old man's good fortune, his eyes glinted with envy. "Humph! If those stupid ogres liked his dance and his ugly lump, they'll love mine even more," he schemed. "I'll go there, dance a better dance, and come back with twice the treasure." So that night, the greedy neighbor went to the very same hollow tree and waited. Sure enough, the oni appeared and began their party. Without a moment's hesitation, the neighbor burst from the tree and started to dance. But his heart wasn't in it. His movements were clumsy, forced, and awkward. He was only thinking about the reward, and it showed. The oni, who fondly remembered the first old man's spontaneous joy, were not impressed at all. The oni chief scowled. "This dancer is terrible," he grumbled to the others. "He's stiff and has no spirit." The chief then looked at the wen he had taken the night before, which he had kept safely in a small, ornate box. An idea struck him. "This dancer doesn't deserve a reward," he declared. "What he needs is a matching set. Maybe a second wen will improve his rhythm." With another flash of magic, the chief oni opened the box, took out the first old man's original wen, and whack, stuck it right onto the greedy neighbor's other cheek. The poor man stumbled home in shock, now with two enormous wens, one dangling from each side of his face. His plan had backfired spectacularly. And so, the first old man lived out the rest of his days happily, his face smooth and his heart content. The greedy neighbor, on the other hand, became a village spectacle, miserable and weighed down by his own envy. It's a powerful reminder, isn't it? Greed often doubles our burdens, while true happiness is found in contentment and appreciating the unexpected gifts life brings our way. Thanks so much for watching. See you